Alright. I'm gonna kind of pretend that my first 2 minutes of trying to explore this place didn't happen. Um, I have a pretty bad headache now. I think it's making me foggy and making me have a much harder time than I should to do basic reasoning. Like figuring out which direction is which based on the sun. And I just made an absolute mess of myself the first time I tried to start navigating in here. So we're going to pretend that didn't happen despite the fact that I'm just now saying that it happened. So this place does have some seemingly abandoned industrial stuff, like some oil drilling and so on. That might be something to try to find. So this is where we start in the freestyle area. Okay, so again, the sun's had a bit of a skew compared to everything else. But, okay, so this would be north, roughly. I guess more like this. If the sun is setting in the west right now. Okay. So I do know that I head west here. That it won't take me long to get to what is clearly out of bounds. Or so I thought. So that's a problem with this place. Once this place is barren enough, that just wasn't out of bounds. Once this place is barren enough that I can just say, oh, this is this super open flat area with a super low resolution texture on its ground is clearly not going to be in bounds. That's the edge of the play area. No, it's not. There's more stuff over here. That really throws me off. Okay, so where are we? Where is this freestyle area relative to everything else, though? Yeah. So if I just keep going this way, there's a ways to go in this direction. Like this has to be the end. Like there's nothing in sight but flat, right? There's so much here that just is nothing but flatness, but there's still more beyond it. That is so strange to me. I always assume these are like the ends of the world, and then there's not flat stuff, and that's out of bounds. What the heck? Hold on. Am I like in the center of the map or what? This is really throwing me off. This is part of why I want to figure out the boundaries of the play area before I do anything else. You're probably not going to find any like entrances or exits. Okay, I didn't expect that to be out of bounds somewhere. Geez, this stage gives me a really hard time telling what is and is not in bounds. Oh. Okay, but let's try to actually just sneak up on this border and just walk along it. So I can at least get some idea of what the edge is here. Yeah, there are places that are totally flat where I say this has to be the end of the play area, and it's not. And then places that aren't flat, like there are features that I want to drive up to and do stuff with, and they're out of bounds. Like, this is out of bounds, I think. Wasn't it? Okay, so this is out of bounds. Let's go clockwise again. Okay, so it does get kind of sandstormy, and you do have a, like an outer border, I guess? No! Ah! It's like, there seems to be like an outer ridge to the play area, at least on this side. I think that's what I'm starting to realize. Up until now, every time I try to drive up to that ridge, I'd think, oh hey, here's a thing I can drive up onto. But then I try to drive onto it, and you're out of bounds before you go over the ridge, which is strange, because most of the time in this game, when they have a ridge like that at the world border, you're actually able to go... Hey. You're actually able to go up onto that ridge, and then it's once you go over it, you'll start being marked out of bounds. Okay. Okay, which direction am I going now? Give me a sec to orient myself here. I don't feel like I should be thinking that I'm going the direction I'm going right now. Okay. This episode is making me feel really dumb, but... Okay. Which direction? We are facing what? We are facing south here. Okay. So that means we're going east now. With the sun behind us. That makes sense. Yeah, sorry, I'm just mentally slow right now in a way I'm usually not, so I do ask for some patience in me trying to process things. Okay, let's get back to the... Well, I guess that'd be southeast border. Oh. Man, I'm not even that close to the ridges here. I need to just say I need to just use the shadow as a compass. I keep adding the extra mental step of thinking, oh, the direction the sun is in it has to be west. So now I'm heading west. I should just think that my shadow is east. So now I'm heading north. Vaguely. Now I'm heading east. I think we are starting roughly in the center of the stage. Okay. So here, am I allowed to... Oh boy. Can I even get up here? Oh man, I've never encountered a slope I can't just drive up like that. Okay, hold on. Because we actually have gone to an interesting place here. I feel like there is a bit of a... It feels like the shadows aren't really east as much as like northeast. I guess it's a little skew relative to the compass. Can I go in here? Not really. Yeah. Because I'm on the northeastern border probably right now. Hey. It's a very tiny fence. Oh, my ATV is going out of bounds. Can you actually not go around this thing while in bounds? You cannot. Oh, there you go, just barely. These things are big. I was always thinking you don't really see these things. I guess that does not like rendering. What the heck? That's another of the same, yeah. Okay. So I guess kind of northeast-ish, you have this big factory of some sort. And this tree is just floating. Okay, yeah, you're not supposed to be over here, I feel like. Like, the fidelity of this area is very low. So I'm just heading south down the eastern border. I'm guessing this is, yeah, that's the edge. It's taking a bit longer to figure out this place than I thought I would. Hello. Yeah, this place is just oddly difficult to identify the border of. I'm used to starting on one edge or another in freeride. Nah, it seems like you start more or less in the center. This is definitely the stuff inside, right? Yeah, because there's the... Okay, so this whole place is actually covered by some kind of... surrounded by ridges on the outside, which is actually a pretty odd thing, I think, for stages in this game to do. It's just that here you can't come very close to it for some reason. And you approach it at all, usually. And it says, nope, it's too far. So I'm going along the southern side here now. Westward. So not seeing a lot here. They tend not to pull on the edges except for in the northeast here, apparently. I really did like how there were roads in and out of the place in Beaver Dam, actually. Let's try not to just fly off the western border here. Okay, well that's at least a start on the border of the place. So now if I just say cut through diagonally, will I along the way come back to the freestyle area? So we have a bunch of just generic hills and rocks and cacti and whatnot. A bunch of very rocky terrain, or bumpy terrain more like. You know, there's some rocks involved in the mix. It doesn't really feel like much of a trailer park, at least the parts we've been in. And there, okay, this is a very trailer parky area. Which is close, I think, to the freestyle area? Like, these are the freestyle hills, right? Yeah. Yeah, so actually I was thinking we were facing... Okay, hold on now. I was thinking like this is like northeast. So are we starting... Okay, by that metric we're starting east. Okay, I got myself kind of thrown off. I'm just going to declare that this is northeast. So we actually start off facing east then. So we start in the center, in the trailer parkish area, which is actually more or less the freestyle area. And we keep going this way. That should take us to the factory. I still feel like there are fewer landmarks here than some other places. I guess you have the wind turbines nearby the trailer park, but yeah, and see here's the... And yeah, if you get to the... I guess the edges, maybe not all the edges, you do run into like lower visibility conditions, it feels like. It's hard to see far. There's not really anything to do here, which is kind of surprising me. They just stuck this here, but they didn't actually have anything to do with it. Okay, well if I head from here just a little bit more west, is there anything just else to see here? Or is it more just kind of hilly, but otherwise featureless land here? There's a balloon, I guess. Going for you, balloon. Land on your feet. There you go. See, I don't see anything noteworthy over here. I'm definitely... See, now I finally actually established it feels like a firm intuition for what direction is what, even if it might not end up being correct on the compass if we come back in Enduro. But I saw I never managed to do that quite in the last area we were in. Yeah, we're in Sequoia Forest. Yeah, see, I don't really see anything else here worth mentioning. So I just go south a bit from here. Is there anything else to see? Feeling a little disappointed in this stage, not as much as in Sequoia Forest. I remember it being vaguely fun trying to drive across some of these stone arches. Well, here's that, I guess kind of on the westish side, there is this little bridge, which is amusing, but not that big of a deal. There you go. It felt like that was worth acknowledging, I guess. Otherwise... Oh, come on. Maybe just decides I've tilted slightly too much. And that means I have to fall. think we're at the southern edge at this point. And if we just go to the southeast edge, is there just anything to see here at all? It feels like there just isn't. I feel like there really is just the trailer park here. Like here we are. Trailer park. Was there a sign here? I do like seeing signs. No, there's not a sign anywhere. I don't know what I thought I was looking at there. But it feels like there is, and as the name tells you, I guess it is the trailer park, but then it's just surrounded by a bunch of nothing. And okay, here's a little bit of oil rig stuff with a little building right next to it. But otherwise, you had this factory that gets shown pretty prominently in like the art here and in the fly-throughs and whatnot, but there's not really anything to actually see or do with it. It's just kind of... Yeah, this place is just also weirdly barren. I mean, it is a desert, of course, but I mean, from a game design standpoint. There's a little something with a couple little things here, but it's not really much of anything. Yeah, one thing I'm noticing they tend to do, which does kind of disappoint me, is they have a tendency to just have a couple small smatterings of like buildings and other incidental set pieces that don't actually have any real obvious significance together. And sometimes they'll do more than one of that. They look like basically identical to each other, and it's kind of hard to even tell them apart. Huh. I'll do a little enduro through here just to see, and to also see how incorrect my guess at the cardinal directions was. Just do a lap or so here, and then we'll cut that off for this episode. But yeah, these first two places we visited the recording session aren't too exciting, unfortunately. The first one especially, I'm really just disappointed by Sequoia Forest. But Red Sands wasn't as bad. Alright. Oh. Okay. So now I was off, so that's actually southeast, not northeast. How does that reorient things? So we actually are starting in what I thought was the northeast corner. But no, this is the southeast corner. Oh boy, where does that leave us? So it's in the afternoon. We're starting in the southeast corner. It's not what I thought this would be. Yes, because everything's rotated 90 degrees now, which is really awkward. They at least start you over here, which is something, but there's just nothing to do over here. They don't have any like interesting stuff to jump around or anything. I think they did the same idea better in you can slide a surprising amount of time that way. I think they did the same thing better in the quarry. Okay, anyways. We start in the southeast corner, which is where this stuff is, and it kind of goes along in the northern direction. Okay. See if I can reorient myself properly here. Just driving through, challenging myself to figure out what's where now. Of course, I'll have to find waypoints, and by that I mean I'll basically have to see the one thing that I recognize, because there's really only one actual thing to recognize here at all, which is just the trailer park in the center. And the trailer park continues being in the center, despite us rotating the map, so really the only thing to reorient in my head is just the abandoned factory or whatever, and that continues. Well, I know where that is now, so... See where this takes us at some point to the trailer park, though. I admit I do not have a great idea of where we are right now, actually. like what corner of the map we're near or whatever. Not at the dead center, because that's where the trailer park is. So maybe we're facing north when we first spawned in Free Ride? So we're facing east. Which way did we rotate everything? We rotated 90 degrees clockwise, right? At which point I think we were facing south, actually. Yeah, that sounds closer to my initial guess. I think. Where's the trailer park? Yeah, I am pretty lost right now, admittedly. Here's the trailer park. Okay, so we were facing east. Or hold on. Jeez, I said south at first, didn't I? Yes. So we were facing south. They head, not southwest. So we start south, we drive southeast, that takes us to the factory. Let me test that real quick. I'll just give up on the... I was thinking just try to drive straight to the factory stuff from here, but... Okay. If I can keep my sense of direction as we go through here. I hate how the game will keep respawning you directly in front of a thing that you hit yourself on. Okay. And now we'll come back around to the southeast side. Which will be where this ends, because that will be back at the factory. It's trying to go between those cacti, but the shaky terrain makes it a little tough to actually pull off. Okay. There it is. Yeah, I have some notion of my way around here at least. Not especially great, but... And if I just go northwest from here, that should take me down towards the trailer park. Just to confirm that I really know where these two things are related to each other. Which they're like the only two landmarks here, so... The gate's just disappearing from the map now. Nice. Oh boy. Still hate how just moving at the wrong angle makes you fall in this game. Come on. Yeah, and here's the trailer park, right? Roughly? No, it's not actually. There it is. Yeah, so more or less. I would usually hope for more than 2 landmarks to identify an entire map, but that's what this one gave us. I know for certain that the core will have more, though. So that's the one I actually look forward to doing this stuff on. So next quarry, and then after that will come the resort. Okay, so I'll do that next time. See you then. I promise it'll be more interesting, because this is actually an interesting map for once, unlike the first 3. Beaver Dam actually redeemed itself a little bit, but I have only doubled down on these 2 maps, having almost nothing interesting going on, unfortunately. But the remaining ones are all pretty cool. Wetlands maybe less, so I'm not certain. Military-based stuff is interesting just for being very different, but that might only be one corner of the map or something. There might not be many landmarks otherwise. Kalumpa, I'm not certain. The Glacier has... Actually, I admit the Glacier only has like the 1 or 2 I can think of. East Point has a lot of landmarks. We'll see what this is like. See you then. Everything's just dirt in this game. It's kind of silly.